What if I told you that God is already preparing your heart for someone? Someone who isn't in your life yet, but whose connection could transform your existence. Maybe you've been waiting. Maybe you've been doubting. But every trial, every loneliness, every hesitation you felt had a purpose. Stay with me, because in the next few minutes, you'll discover how your heart is about to be aligned with a soul who will do more than complete you. They'll elevate your path to Him. Close your eyes for a moment. Breathe deeply and let your mind descend to where your thoughts often stop, into that silence you share with no one. This emptiness you feel, this sensation of missing something, it's not a simple lack. It's not a passing loneliness or a whim of the heart. It's a vibration that your soul recognizes even before you, your mind, accept it. This emptiness has a reason, and it carries within it a sign you've ignored for too long. Allah is preparing your heart. Perhaps you've wondered why your past relationships never worked out. Why, despite your efforts, despite your prayers, what you thought was the right person wasn't. Perhaps you blamed yourself, felt inadequate, believed something was wrong with you. But what you don't know, what you sometimes refuse to see, is that every experience, every breakup, every frustrated expectation has been a silent purification of your heart. Allah removes what is not for you, but He does so with a precision that your soul only understands afterward, when the person or connection He has prepared manifests itself. Look at that void once more. It is not empty for nothing. It is a sacred space. It is a space that Allah will fill with something that will resonate with your faith, with your patience, and with the sincerity of your heart. It is not just a human presence that will fill this void. Number. It is a soul who will appear at the exact moment, neither too soon nor too late, and who will stir something deep within you. This is not a coincidence. This is not an ordinary encounter. It is the fruit of an invisible alignment, of a divine orchestration that surpasses anything you can conceive. And yet, how many times have you closed your heart out of a fear? For fear of further suffering, for fear of being disappointed, or for fear that your love would not be reciprocated? How many times have you believed that loneliness was a sign that you were forgotten? You must understand today that this emptiness is actually a test of alignment, a test of patience, a divine preparation. Allah never places someone in your path who does not correspond to the state of your soul at that precise moment. Every trial, every absence, every apparent delay is a silent tutor, shaping your heart to make it ready to receive what He has planned. Imagine your heart like a mirror. When you are hurt, when you are betrayed, or when you are left behind, this mirror cracks. And what many do not know is that Allah uses these cracks to purify the reflection. He does not leave your heart intact simply so that you are ready. He shapes it, polishes it, cleanses it of everything that prevents you from recognizing the person He will place in your life. And this process, even though it is painful, is a testament to His silent mercy. What you consider void or lack, He considers a sacred vessel in preparation. Perhaps you feel impatient now. Perhaps you wonder, when will this happen? But impatience is the veil of ignorance. The beauty of divine alignment is that the exact moment is perfectly chosen. Too soon, and your heart would not have been ready. Too late, and the encounter would not have had the profound effect Allah intended. This perfect timing is a manifestation of His infinite wisdom. And the sign your heart must understand today is that every feeling of emptiness, every expectation, every pain, is a step in this preparation. Now feel this vibration within you, this quiet but incessant beating that says, there is someone for you. Don't dismiss it, don't minimize it. Even if your logical mind doubts, even if your past has wounded your heart, this vibration is the silent language of Allah within your soul. He whispers to you that your waiting is not in vain, that your heart is not abandoned, that every breath you take brings you closer to this destined encounter. And what makes this preparation even more sacred is that it is not simply a meeting of hearts, but a meeting of souls. A soul who will share with you a path to Him, a presence that will support your faith, uplift your spirit, and understand your prayers without the need for words. This meeting is not just emotional, it is spiritual. It is the alignment of two paths chosen by Allah to intersect at a moment when each person's preparation is complete. Imagine a seed, small, fragile, almost insignificant. It is planted in soil that seems barren, arid, with no promise of life. You might think it has no chance, that its destiny is to disappear into oblivion. And yet, it contains within it an invisible force, a silent potential that you, human, cannot see. It waits, not just for the right moment, but for the exact moment chosen by the one who sees what is hidden, the one who knows the perfection of time, the one who knows what your heart is ready to receive. For weeks, months, sometimes years, this seed remains invisible beneath the surface. The earth around it seems hard, sometimes even hostile. And you, in your heart, sometimes feel the same hardness. Loneliness, incomprehension, disillusionment, hearts that close or relationships that don't last. You wonder if everything you've hoped for is in vain. You wonder if you are forgotten. But what you don't know is that this period of silence is an act of mercy. Allah works in the invisible, shaping your heart, purifying your intentions, removing anything that would prevent you from recognizing what awaits you. And then, at the exact moment, something happens. Rain falls. Not just any rain, a gentle, precise rain, one that doesn't drown the earth but nourishes it deeply. It penetrates, it descends, it envelops the seed. And at that moment, what seemed impossible becomes a reality. The seed bursts forth. A pale, timid shoot breaks through the soil. Fragile at first, but determined to grow, to seek the light, to rise toward the sky, this is exactly how God aligns your heart with someone. Two souls who seem separate, who have traveled through different soils, different trials, droughts that seemed endless. And yet, at the perfect moment, their paths cross. You don't immediately notice the depth of this encounter, but something inside you knows it's different. Your heart opens, almost instinctively, to a connection unlike any other. There's a silent resonance, an echo you can't explain, but it touches you deeply. Think of how roots grow underground. They seek each other out, sometimes intertwining with other invisible roots, strengthening each other through patience, discretion, and obedience to the natural rhythm God has set. Your heart, your soul, works the same way. Even before you meet this person, you're both preparing, strengthening, and growing. Every past experience, every trial you've gone through, every period of solitude has been a silent training, an invisible shaping so that you're ready for each other. And when the two shoots meet, the silent magic begins. It's not always spectacular on the outside. There isn't always a firework or a sudden illumination. Sometimes it's subtle, a look that lasts a little longer, a mutual understanding without words, a sense of peace you've never felt with anyone before. And therein lies the beauty of divine creation. It never forces, it aligns. It guides discreetly, perfectly, so that hearts recognize each other at the exact moment they are ready. Visualize this meeting as two rivers. They flow separately, through mountains and valleys, sometimes dry, sometimes tumultuous. Each experiences its own storms, its own twists and turns. And then, instead of colliding or losing each other, they join. Not by chance, but by a perfect alignment orchestrated by the One who sees all things. The strength of their combined current is not just emotional, it is spiritual. Each obstacle previously overcome only strengthens the flow, giving it depth, clarity, and purity. And think for a moment about the patience that was necessary. How many times would you have wanted to give up? How many times would you have postponed your faith, doubted God's goodness, believed that all was lost? But that patience, that silent trust, was the key. Allah rewards those who surrender to Him, even in times when reason failed to understand. That silence, that waiting, that dry land, everything had a purpose. It was all in preparation for something beautiful, something lasting, something that will uplift your heart and soul.
You sat alone, once again, in the silence of your room and asked yourself, why am I always alone? Why does every connection I try to build seem to crumble like sand in my hands? Perhaps you sought answers in whispered prayers, in late-night chats with friends, or even in the logic of your mind. But you found no answer that soothed your heart. Because the truth you ignore, that you don't hear often enough, is that these breakups, these separations, and these absences are not failures. They are cleansings. Every connection that ended, every disappointment you felt, every person who left, was not there to punish you or make you bitter. On the contrary, it was a silent purification. Allah, in His infinite wisdom, was using these experiences to sweep away anything that could pollute your heart. Everything that prevented you from loving fully. Everything that prevented you from recognizing the depth of a soul aligned with your own was removed, sometimes painfully, but always necessary. And think about this. Every separation is like a flame gently burning away what is impure. Every trial is a spark, illuminating areas of your heart where pride, fear, or emotional dependence had taken root. Perhaps you didn't see the beauty of this purification at the time. Perhaps you screamed, cried, and even lost faith. But every tear, every feeling of emptiness, was a silent prayer heard by God. And every pain was a divine hand working to shape your soul for what He has in store. Imagine your heart like a crystal. When you try to insert light into it without it being ready, the light scatters. It doesn't shine properly. But when the crystal is polished, when it is purified and freed from all impurities, then even the smallest spark of light becomes an intense brilliance, capable of illuminating everything around it. In the same way, every separation, every trial, is a step in polishing your heart, so that it can recognize and receive the soul destined for it. You might think patience is easy when you see the results immediately. But what you don't know is that true patience is silent, sometimes invisible. It's continuing to hope, believe, and pray, even when your heart bleeds and your mind doubts. It's remaining faithful to Allah, even when the loneliness seems endless. And this silence, this patience, is what aligns your heart so that, when the day comes, it can welcome a connection beyond anything you've ever known. God never places two souls together simply because they love each other or because they find each other beautiful or compatible. Number. He unites them after they have gone through the fire of waiting, after they have known the weight of loneliness, after they have developed the strength of sincerity. Sincerity in love is not simply saying, "I love you." Sincerity in love is remaining pure in your intentions, even when no one is watching. It is waiting with humility and gratitude, even when every cell in your body is screaming for an immediate response. And if you take a moment to reflect deeply,
You will understand that the times when you felt weakest, most lost, were actually times when Allah was silently working in your heart. He was removing unnecessary ties, illusions, and unrealistic expectations. He was clearing the ground to prepare a soul that would perfectly match yours, not only emotionally, but especially spiritually. It is no coincidence that you have not found peace with others until now. True peace can only be born when your heart and soul are ready to receive it. And now, feel this. This emptiness, this loneliness that you thought was a burden, is actually a silent message. It is Allah saying to you, prepare yourself, purify yourself. Soon, I will show you the person who will make your heart beat in harmony with your soul, who will elevate your faith and your path. You have not yet seen this person, and you do not know when this encounter will come. But what you must understand today is that every trial you have gone through so far has not been wasted. Every pain, every weight, every tear was a necessary step for you to be ready to receive a love and a connection unlike any other. Have you ever felt that strange thrill? That sensation that everything changes overnight without you understanding how or why? Do you think it's just chance when someone appears, exactly when you thought all was lost? When you were on the verge of giving up, wondering if your prayers had any meaning, if your heart still had the strength to believe, and suddenly, someone appears in your life. Number. It's not a coincidence. Never. Do you still believe in chance when your paths cross with someone whose soul resonates with yours? Someone who, without even knowing it, has shared the same intention, the same silent prayer as you for months, perhaps years? Do you really believe it's all pure chance? If you think about it for a moment, you realize that these encounters always occur with a precision that human logic cannot explain. Every detail of your journey, every moment of solitude, every failure, every detour, everything converges toward that exact point where two souls recognize each other. Look around you. People come and go from your life without you understanding. Some hurt you, some disappoint you, others simply disappear as if you never existed for them. And then there's that person, the one who stays, the one who seems obvious. They're not there by chance. Their presence is a silent answer to prayers you formulated in the privacy of your heart, sometimes whispered in the dark when you were alone with your doubts and your tears. You might think it's just a beautiful encounter, that destiny has done its work. But no, it's much deeper than that. It's a divine orchestration, an invisible alchemy orchestrated by the one who sees what your heart desires before you're even aware of it. It's a perfect alignment that no one can predict, no one can manipulate, and that surpasses all the probabilities of this world. What you take for a mere chance is actually a manifestation of Allah's wisdom and precision. And now, ask yourself this question. Why do some people you meet leave no trace in your heart, while others, those who arrive at the exact moment when you've been most patient, when you've been most sincere in your waiting, transform everything? The answer is clear. It's not outward beauty, nor charisma, nor chance that determines the depth of a connection. It's the alignment of hearts, divine timing, the silent preparation of two souls destined to meet. You may think you have to understand immediately. You think you have to see the path clearly from the beginning. But one of the greatest lessons here is that you'll never see the full orchestration until it reveals itself. You won't see the moments when Allah protected you from bad encounters. You won't see the doors He closed for you. You won't understand why certain relationships broke down. Until the moment you meet the person who was meant for you, then everything becomes clear. Everything makes sense. Every disappointment, every expectation, every tear you shed transforms into a silent message. Look, it was meant to prepare you. And that person won't be perfect. No one is perfect. But they will be aligned with you, with your path, with your faith. Their heart will understand your prayers, their presence will support your soul, and even your silences will have meaning. Divine encounters don't require words, because soul recognizes soul before the mouth utters anything. It's a connection that can be felt, that resonates deeply, that transforms the everyday into a sign, that transforms patience into a tangible reward. So the next time you feel alone, doubtful, or wondering if your prayers have meaning, remember this. Every absence you've experienced, every detour you've taken, every person who hasn't stayed in your life is part of the divine alignment. What seems chaotic and unfair on the outside is actually a perfect plan on the inside. And this plan is preparing you for this encounter, for this soul who will stir your heart and elevate your path. You might still hesitate. You might still wonder if this connection will be real, if this feeling will last. But the truth your heart must hear today is that what is meant for you will never pass you by. Allah never misses the alignment of a heart with its rightful one. Every encounter you await, every prayer you whisper in the night, is heard and answered in ways you cannot yet measure. Think of two rivers, two separate streams, flowing through different landscapes, sometimes so far apart that you might think they'll never meet. One crosses arid valleys, rough lands, and rocks that slow it down, sometimes hurt it and force it to change direction. The other flows through gentle meadows, under an open and bright sky, but it must also navigate buried roots, fallen trees, and invisible obstacles that hold back its flow. Each river advances patiently, persistently, unaware of where it will end, but continuing to advance because its essence is to flow, to seek its way to the sea it has never seen but knows exists. Your heart is like that river. It has weathered storms, droughts, times when it seemed unable to move forward. It has experienced breakups, failures, and silences that have weighed on it. And yet, it continued to beat, to feel, to hope. The other heart, the one waiting for you, is also a river. It has traversed its own obstacles, its own detour, its own periods of solitude. The two rivers seem unaware of each other's existence, yet they follow a precise, invisible path, orchestrated by the one who knows perfectly the flow of each life. And then, at the exact moment, something happens. Not by chance, not by a random twist of fate. The rivers draw closer, they sense each other's presence, even from a distance. The currents begin to respond to each other, subtly. A vibration, an echo, something in the flow of the water that says, this is the other half of your journey. And when they finally come together, it's as if everything they've been through finally makes sense. The rocks, the obstacles, the detours, everything contributes to creating the depth and strength of this new current. It is not simply a blend, but a perfect fusion, guided by infinite wisdom. Now imagine this fusion as light passing through water. Every ripple, every movement, reflects a divine intention. Past wounds do not disappear, but they are like polished stones at the bottom of the river. They have given the shape and beauty to this new current. Your heart, after all its trials, is ready to welcome the depth of this encounter. There is a subtle harmony, a sound recognition that goes beyond words, beyond what your mind can comprehend. The soul knows. The soul feels. And think about what this means spiritually. In Islam, every encounter is not merely emotional or earthly. It is a sign, an alignment, a divine orchestration. Allah chooses the exact place where these currents must cross. Not too soon, not too late. Not before both hearts are purified, nor after they have lost the ability to recognize the sign. Everything is meticulously prepared. Rivers don't join until they are ready to form a strong current, capable of continuing its path out to sea, toward a wider sea, toward a destiny they alone cannot imagine. Look even deeper. The meeting of a river not only creates a current, it changes the landscape around them. The lands they flow through are nourished. Valleys become more fertile. Plants and trees thrive thanks to their passage. In the same way, the meeting of aligned hearts transforms everything around them. Relationships with others, perceptions of the world, and even faith itself become deeper, clearer, more alive. A person aligned with you doesn't just fill a void. They elevate your existence, amplify your light, and make you see the beauty of what you could never have perceived alone. And then there's the subtlety of this merged current. It's not a brutal torrent, but a delicate and powerful flow. It adapts to obstacles. It continues despite rocks and rapids. It forges ahead where it needs to go. In the same way, a relationship guided by Allah is not perfect from the beginning. It has its challenges, its adjustments, its moments requiring patience and perseverance. But the strength of this current, its fluidity and depth, come from everything that was experienced before the encounter. Everything that seemed like trials and detour was only silent preparation, a necessary training so that the final current would be intact, strong, and capable of reaching its divine destination. In Islam, love is never a mere feeling. It is not limited to a heartbeat or a fleeting attraction. True love, the kind orchestrated by God, is a sacred responsibility. It is a silent alliance between two souls, placed under the gaze of the one who sees all, who knows intentions, and who guides every beat, every breath, and every decision. When Allah aligns your heart with someone, it is never for a fleeting distraction, to fill a moment of loneliness, or to appease a temporary desire. Number. Behind this encounter lies a depth, a purpose, a mission that only your heart will be able to fully experience over time. Every connection prepared by Allah is a road, a spiritual path. It is not simply a matter of compatibility or emotion. It is an alignment that elevates, that transforms, that invites one to draw closer to Him. When two hearts meet with this divine intention, they become companions on a journey beyond mere human comprehension. It's not a matter of superficial passion. It's a light that guides each other through challenges, trials, and moments of doubt. It's a bond that teaches patience, tolerance, sincerity, and mutual respect. Think for a moment about what this means for your soul. Every interaction, every shared smile, every silence experienced together is not trivial. They are stones laid on the path of spiritual construction. God never places two hearts together to stray into frivolous paths. Every gesture, every word, every trial you go through together becomes a lesson, a purification, a mirror of your intentions. What you consider minor conflicts or misunderstandings are often nothing more than a silent test of patience, sincerity, and perseverance. And consider this. Your heart, before meeting this person, may have been shaped by mistakes, hurts, and disappointments. These experiences are not accidents. They are divine preparations. Allah aligns your heart not with someone who instantly erases your wounds, but with someone who will understand your scars and walk alongside you despite them. Divine love does not suppress reality. It transforms the heart so that it can welcome what is pure, what is aligned with the spiritual path, what is meant to grow together in faith. Now, imagine this connection as a light in the darkness. In a world filled with uncertainty, distractions, and superficial desires, This connection becomes a beacon. It reminds your soul that Allah is always present, that He guides, aligns, and prepares encounters that uplift, not destroy. When this connection is rooted in sincerity, it becomes a spiritual school. Every interaction, every shared decision, every sacrifice made becomes a path of learning, a means of purifying the heart, a path that brings your soul closer to the one who brought you together. And this mission is not light. It is not for the faint of heart or for those seeking only temporary comfort. It requires vigilance, honesty, and courage. For a bond orchestrated by Allah is not just an emotional refuge. It is a responsibility to support the other, to protect the other's faith, to remain sincere in times of fatigue, to continue to pray together, and to never let the outside world corrupt the purity of this connection. It is a covenant before God, a silent promise that souls make to each other, to walk together on a path that leads not only to earthly happiness, but to eternal light. And you must understand this. This bond is a mirror of your soul. The person who is aligned with you reflects your faith, your intentions, your sincere desires, and your weaknesses. They challenge you, they support you, they remind you to remain upright, patient, and sincere. In this mirror, you will see not only the other, but also yourself, purified, shaped, and elevated. It's a silent but powerful process. And that's why this bond is never ordinary, never superficial. It can't be, for it was conceived by the one who sees what no one else sees. Every moment shared, even the simplest, becomes sacred. A smile exchanged in sincerity becomes a silent prayer. A trial overcome together becomes a mutual purification. Every day, even an ordinary one, becomes a step on this path that brings your hearts and souls closer to the one who orchestrated this encounter. And then you realize that love, aligned by Allah, is never a mere passing emotion. It is a school, a sanctuary, a divine mission that transforms life and purifies the heart. Your heart is a garden, and God is already preparing the seeds for a life-changing connection. But it all begins with awareness and patience. Reflect on what you truly desire, purify your intention, and open your heart to what God has planned. If this video touched you, don't forget to share this message with someone who needs to hear this guidance, and subscribe to continue this spiritual journey together.